celery, but you know, it's like a kind of.
You're a rich celery outfit.
We could call you Celery Number Man.
Celery This is a comic you're working at.
Yeah,
we're slightly sick and worried.
We'll split the merchandising.
I'll do it.
Now, here's I would have thought the loveliest thing was going home with your wife, knowing that you were given more or less the all clear, and seeing your girls and being at home with your wife and your family. Was there a period, I mean, were you aware enough to think that this might not happen, or were you concerned that you might not be able to return to a normal family life?
That sort of stuff went on, but I was out of it because I was either in a coma or clinically confused.
So that's a blessing, really.
So for me, yeah, I meant my wife Mindy and also my whole family, my mother. It wasn't very nice to stand there and see me in that state. And yes, Mindy had to consider maybe raising the kids on her own, which is a hard one.
Yeah, but you know where you're ahead of the game there, because she's standing in the hospital room looking at you, thinking, oh, I might have to move on, right? I might need a new partner. There's Clarkson and the other well, no challenge, is it, really? You know what I mean? She's going to stay single, isn't she, really?
Two old men or be on her own. Yeah, that would have been
Two old men in tight jeans, you know, they can't even father. There's no way they're fathering any more children. She's going to stay single.
So she would have stayed to the memory.
You're in the clear, well done.
I hadn't thought of that until now, and that's some comfort.
Can I ask something? This might sound ridiculous. I know you've said a few times in the coma, but when you're in the coma, is anything going on in the coma that you can remember? Is it like a dream, or are you aware of anything going on outside of yourself?
I guess it's rather personal and unique to each coma. So. I mean, I just don't know how. There's different degrees of coma, and mine was an especially bad one, the worst level. I was very proud of that.
And they have levels. They have levels like hurricane levels.
The Glasgow coma scale, yeah, it was 15 down to 3. And 3 is the worst.
The Glasgow coma scale.
I've been told all this stuff when I was in hospital. It might have been made up.
I think they've made that up. Some blokes said, yeah, we call it Glasgow because after a few drinks they headbutt each other. Where's the Glasgow?
I don't know, but it was the Glasgow. Seriously,
the Glasgow coma scale. Okay.
15 is not so bad.
15.
That's like you're probably 15 most of the time. Down to 3, which is the worst. And I was a solid 3 for quite a long time.
So you're
completely... I was still sort of in and out.
And this is them checking on brain activity, I guess, and your responses to outside stimuli.
Yeah, although they did, yes. I sort of heard stuff going on, but you're in and out.
You don't remember the fact that we got Paper Lace to come in and play for you to try and get you out, do you?
Nice.
Paper Lace got no response whatsoever. I used to like Paper Lace. Do you remember Paper Lace?
Can I say no, anyway?
I'll
just claim it's...
Billy, don't be a hero. There was a
Again, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, but no one does. It's just me here. Well, you know, man, it's obviously it's such a lovely end to this particular episode in your life. The fact that you're okay, you're in the clear. Do you have to have a special regimen now? Do you have to look after yourself in a certain way, or do you just carry on as normal and hope for the best?
Partly because I just feel that there's a real sense from the experts that glued me back together. There's a real sort of, now look, you've been very, very lucky.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I had the best crash helmet, the best harnesses and everything else, but there's also quite a lot of luck in there.
Yeah, of course.
And so I think they'd be really cross if I did anything wrong. But yeah, I can't drink.
You can't drink?
2 years.
2 years you can't drink?
I can have weak lager. Don't laugh, it's all I can have.
Richard, is this something your wife told you yet again? Or
we aren't driving around to see a lot of people this Christmas. Maybe that's connected.
You love visiting my mother.
You love driving and not drinking all Christmas. I can only have weak lager and only 1 or 2. Yeah.
Let me ask you about going back to Top Gear, because for a start you mentioned driving just then. You said drive. So presumably you've driven again. I saw a photograph of you in the papers driving a tractor. But was there a moment?
That was really dignified.
Was there a moment when you got back behind the wheel the first time? Was there any kind of fear? Was there any concern about whether you wanted to do that ever again, or what might happen?
No, I mean, it was a jet car. The last thing I heard was a jet engine. I mean, that's not. And then I get into my car. I've got a little old Morgan sports car made of wood, and it's an ordinary car.
Yeah.
So again, plenty of people do have head injuries and then comas and then come out of it, and the last thing they did do was drive the car to go to the shops. So that's an ordinary car.
Yeah, yeah.
So how they get back in,
so they would associate that with what happened to them. Yeah.
But in my case, no, because
so you won't get in a jet car again, though.
Well, I think twice, not for shopping.
All right, so you're going to be back in Top Gear.
Yeah.
Is it true, and I don't know if it's true, but I read somewhere that Jeremy Clarkson said that you three had a pact as to how you would deal if someone was involved in an accident which either forbade them from returning to the show or indeed ended their life prematurely. There was a way you were going to deal with the sad farewell on the show.
There was, and there is, and that agreement remains in place, that should one of us croak, Jeremy or whichever one of us is left would stand there and go, obviously last week or whenever Jeremy, James, Richard was tragically killed. But the next word this is the agreement, has to be anyway. But it has to be delivered right, because you have to go, was tragically killed to death. Anyway, there's a new Astra diesel out. And just talk about it. And that is, I think there was a sense of genuine disappointment.
Oh, no.
They didn't get, because they must have been thinking, finally we get to...
But they pride themselves on showing no emotion and that kind of thing. It's like
or indeed feeling.
Yeah, but there must be some deep down inside, I'm sure. Both of them, I bet, were going home and sobbing on their wives, or I don't know if the other bloke has got a wife, maybe on a dog or something that he's got.
A cat.
A cat, maybe.
Yeah.
Like an old spinster living at home.
Yes.
Possibly even a dead, stuffed cat, not even a cat.
Nobody dare tell him.
Sobbing onto that, thinking, Richard, get what? Do you think there was any of that?
Really unpleasant image for so many. Don't you think that's really just not
Clarkson
nice?
crying over you.
Oh, that's really unpleasant. No, I don't think so.
Can I just say, it's just going to sound a silly question, but when you now you're better on your back and you're looking, do you think your insurance rate's going to go up on your car? Do you think
It hasn't. Kid you not, it hasn't. We've already checked that. I checked it fairly soon after I got home.
As soon as you got out?
Yeah. Have you had any crashes in the last 12 months? Bit. No, it hasn't affected
Once
it
again,
at all.
because it's a jet car, of course.
Well, it was on a runway. I mean, the last thing I saw was a paramedic on that side, and it was all... You know.
Yeah. Well, it's fabulous you're well, and of course it's nice that you're out in time for Christmas, of course. Presumably you'll be spending Christmas, I would have thought, at home with the family?
Oh, yes, absolutely, at home with the kids. The girls did come and see me in hospital, by the way.
Did they?
And Mindy, my wife, had said, now, Daddy's banged his head, you have to be very good. Oh, yes, fine. So they brought them into the room, but I'd really hurt this eye quite nasty. I thought it might lose it, so I had a big eye patch on with a big bandage around it. Keep that on. Yes. Was still quite confused at the time. So they walked into the room. Hello, Daddy. Hello, kids. Look at this!
What did they do?
Lot of screams. lot of not sleeping.
You know what's great now, though? Richard, if they're being troublesome at bedtime, just put the old eye patch on and come up with
That's very scary.
Halloween, we know what you're wearing.
Yeah.
Daddy's been in the wars again.
I only get as far as that and then be off.
Richard, I am thrilled you're well. I mean, it was a horrible thing to read about, and it was a horrible thing to see, and not knowing what would happen to you. Even for those who don't know you, it was a horrible thing. I can't imagine what your family went through, but thank God you're all out the other side now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all's well that ends well.
And thank you so much for coming on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richard Hammond.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. That's brilliant. And I'll see you again in a minute. Thank you. Great.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks to all my guests tonight, Richard Hammond, of course, Lee Evans, who's brilliant, Liz Smith, who's fabulous, and of course, J.Ross. Now, this is our last